So we're going to try out 2 commander decks against the Team Up AI. We're going to do Splinter Radical Rat and Bebop and Rocksteady. I will be pausing the video for when I'm shuffling to try to save some time, and I'll explain what I'm going to do and probably pause the video and do all the things that we got to do, try to save some time. Lands will be off screen, but I will show you the lands and what we're going to tap before we tap anything. So we start with 20 life, which we've got here and there. The first boss we're going to start with is Chrome Dome, Cyber Ninja. Ninjas the bosses control get +1/+0 for each boss in play. Well, thank goodness it starts off with just one boss in play. There are 3 rounds if I make it that far. Second round has 2 bosses. Third round has 3 bosses. Heroes will start first. With our starting hand, we've got April O'Neil, Hacktivist, Dark Leo and Shredder, Bespoke Bow, a Plains, Leonardo's Technique, High Flying Ace, Foot Headquarters, and we're going to draw at the beginning for Splinter a Command Tower. So for Bebop and Rocksteady, we've got Swamp, Harmonize, Mutant Chain Reaction, Swamp, Swamp. Geez, we're missing forests. Southwest Wind Avatar, Michelangelo on the Scene, and the first card we draw will be Heralds of the Shredder. For Splinter, we have no 1-drops in hand, so we're going to play the Foot Headquarters. It comes into play tapped. We gain 1 life, yay! But we have no 1-drops anyway, so it's okay. We're gonna play it because it comes into play tapped, and hopefully next turn we can cast something. For Bebop and Rocksteady, we also have no 1-drops to play. We'll be playing a Swamp. Unfortunately, we got nothing else to cast, so we're going to go to the boss's turn. So the bosses are going to get 2 event cards. So we're going to start with Villain Scheme. Shuffle this card and the boss graveyard into the boss library. Well, there's nothing in the graveyard, so I guess we're just going to shuffle this back into the boss's event deck. With that shuffled in, I guess that was a little bit of a freebie. Next card is Destroy All Turtles. I guess another little freebie there. We've got nothing on the board to destroy. So, boss's turn ends, back to our turn. We're going to untap Foot Headquarters. There's nothing else to untap. Then we're going to upkeep, nothing during that, and we're going to draw. So Splinter is going to draw Splinter's Technique. And Bebop and Rocksteady are going to draw a Forest. Oh, yay. Just what we needed. So for Splinter, we're going to play a Command Tower. So now we have 2 lands here. And we're going to tap 1 for a white and 1 for a black. And cast Dark Leo and Shredder. It'd be always nice to sneak this in and when you have more ninjas, but we just want creatures out right now. So we're going to bring it in. Attacking ninjas you control have Death Touch. Whenever Dark Leo and Shredder deal combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. Then, if you control 5 or more ninjas, that player loses half their life, rounded up. Bebop and Rocksteady will be playing a forest. So now we have a forest and a swamp, but unfortunately we have nothing in our hand that we can cast. So they'll just have to pass the turn. And we're going to go to the boss's turn now. So the bosses are going to draw 2 cards from the event deck. We're going to get Foot Disciple. This creature can't block. All the creatures the bosses have can't block. So, but it's a 3/3, and it usually gets bonuses from other bosses. So, next card that's drawn from the event deck is Foot Skirmisher. It's got flying. Don't really have many flyers, so that is kind of not good. It's a 2/1, so gotta watch that. And yeah. So there will be no attacks because they just came out. It's going to pass to our turn. Splinter's going to, we're going to untap the lands that we have. Upkeep and then draw. Splinter's going to draw into Death in the Family. That might be nice. It will be nice. And we're going to draw a Swamp for Bebop and Rocksteady. So for Splinter, we're going to play a Plains. So now we have Foot Headquarters, Command Tower, Plains. We're going to tap the Command Tower for a blue, and then tap these 2 for just 2 more. And we're going to cast Bespoke Bow. When this equipment enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and we're going to return the Foot Disciple. When you return a card to their hand for the boss, it goes to their grave. And equipped creature gets +2/+1 and gains Vigilance. Bebop and Rocksteady are going to play a Swamp. So now we have a Swamp, Forest, Swamp. We're going to tap the Forest for a green and the Swamp for 2 black. And we're going to cast Mutant Chain Reaction. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. And then create a mutagen token. So we're going to target the Foot Skirmisher. It's got flying. And then we'll create a mutagen. So we're going to attack with Dark Leo and Shredder. Attacking creatures, we don't care about that right now. They have Death Touch. But whenever they deal combat damage to a player, we create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. And we won't have 5 or more, so that won't matter. So we'll attack, we'll do 1 damage, we'll create a 1/1 ninja token. That's pretty much all we can do on our turn. So we'll go to the boss. The boss will get to draw 2 event cards. First one is Foot Enforcer. Can't block. They can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Ugh. And the second card we're going to draw is, as a team, heroes choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Destroy it. Bosses lose life equal to that creature's power. So both Dark Leo and Shredder and the ninja have a power of 1. So in this case, I'm going to choose the ninja to sacrifice. Or destroy. Sorry, not sacrifice. I'll choose the ninja to destroy, and the bosses will lose 1 life because it's only got 1 power. So now the boss would attack, but the foot enforcers just entered the battlefield, so they will not be attacking, and we can pass the turn to us. We will be untapping our lands and untapping Dark Leo. Then we will have an upkeep, which we have nothing to do, and then we will draw. So Splinter will draw into an island, and Bebop and Rocksteady will be drawing into Party Dude. So Splinter is going to play an island. So now we have 4 lands here. We're actually going to tap the command tower and the island. We're going to tap the command tower for a black. And we're going to cast Death in the Family. Exile target creature with a mana value 3 or less. So in this, it's a boss card. It costs 3 or less. But it doesn't get exiled. It's actually going to go to the grave. So that's what we will cast over here. Bebop and Rocksteady are going to play a swamp. So now we have 3 swamps and a forest. We're going to tap that forest and cast Party Dude, making ourselves a food token. Well, each player does, but the boss isn't going to use it. With the remaining 3 swamps, we're going to tap those and bring out Bebop and Rocksteady. So whenever Bebop and Rocksteady attack or block, we sacrifice a permanent unless we discard a card. Now we're going to attack with Dark Leo and Shredder. On attack, or not on attack, when we deal combat damage, which will be 1, we get to create a 1/1 ninja. And that's pretty much everything we can do on our turn right now. So we're going to pass to the boss. And the boss is going to draw 2 event cards. So the first one's going to say, the heroes lose 3 life, and the bosses gain 3 life. Well, that kind of sucks. Now it's like I did no damage to them. Second card, we've got Foot Disciple. So now the boss gets to attack, but Foot Disciple just came out. So the boss will pass to our turn. We will untap. We've got nothing to do on our upkeep, and then we will draw. So Splinter is going to draw the Last Ronin's technique. And Bebop and Rocksteady will be drawing a much-needed forest. Splinter is going to keep it pretty simple. We're going to tap all 4 of our lands, one of them being blue, to cast April O'Neil, Hacktivist. So at the beginning of your end step, draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast this turn. So this turn, we'll get to draw 1 card because April is a creature spell. Bebop and Rocksteady are going to play a forest. So now we've got 5 lands here. We're going to tap 2 forest for 2 green and 2 swamp, leaving 1 swamp untapped. And we're going to cast Harmonize. So we're going to draw 3 cards. And the 3 cards that we draw into are a forest, a Lord Dreg, Insect Invader, and a swamp. That brings us to 7 cards in our hand here, so we don't have to worry about discarding anything. So we're going to go to attacks, and we're going to attack with Bebop and Rocksteady, and Dark Leo and Shredder, and that's about it. So we're going to do, actually, maybe we'll attack with Bebop and Rocksteady, Dark Leo and Shredder, and the Ninja. We'll attack with all 3, and we will be creating another Ninja when Dark Leo and Shredder do their damage. So we're going to be doing 7, 8, 9 damage to Chrome Dome. And we're going to hold April O'Neil back for blocking for now, if she survives. On Bebop and Rocksteady's attack, I had to sacrifice something, so we sacrificed Party Dude. So that brings Chrome Dome down to 11. This is still just the first boss. And we're going to pass the turn to the bosses. So the bosses, on my end step, April O'Neil will trigger. I did cast her, so we draw a card for each card type among spells we've cast this turn. That was 1 card, which was creature type. Splinter is going to draw into a plains. So the bosses get to go now to event cards. We've got Villain Scheme. Shuffle this card in the boss's graveyard into the boss library. So that gives us a little bit of a break. And for their second card of the turn, we've got Shredder's Challenge. Return 2 ninja cards at random from the boss grave to the battlefield. Oh. Well, we just shuffled that grave in there, so there's nothing in there. Another little break. So now the Foot Disciple can attack. We're going to block with April O'Neil, Hacktivist. She's 1/5, so we can take it. And it's going to pass the turn to us. So we will untap. There's nothing to do on our upkeep, and we will draw. Splinter will be drawing into Leonardo, leader in blue. And Bebop and Rocksteady will draw into Foot Chopper. So Splinter is going to play a Plains. And that gives us 5 lands here. We're going to use the Plains, tap it, to bring out Leonardo, leader in blue. Then we're going to tap an island, a plains, and the Foot headquarters, keeping the command tower untapped. And we're going to equip the Bespoke Bow to April O'Neil, Hacktivist. That way she can take out that Foot Disciple when it attacks next turn, hopefully. So for Bebop and Rocksteady, we're going to play a forest. That's going to bring us to 3 forests and 3 swamps. We're going to tap 2 of those swamps to bring in a Foot Chopper. When it enters, we create a 1/1 Black Ninja creature token, then attach this equipment to it. It's got flying. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you can sacrifice it, or you may. If you do, you draw cards equal to its power. Then we're going to tap a swamp for a black and 3 green for whatever. And we're going to cast the South Wind Avatar. It's got Death Touch. Whenever another creature you control dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. And when you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So we're going to attack with Bebop and Rocksteady. And I'm going to sacrifice the food that I covered up with the ninja. To do 7, we're going to attack. I was going to save April O'Neil, but we're going to attack with April O'Neil. And she's going to do 3, so that brings us to 10 damage. And then we're going to attack with Dark Leo and Shredder, creating another ninja. That will bring us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ninjas when that ninja is created. But at that point, Chrome Dome will be brought to 0, so we won't be able to half his life. But that's okay, because he'll be at 0. So we'll tap April, Dark Leo, and Bebop and Rocksteady to kill off Chrome Dome. So with Chrome Dome defeated, 2 new bosses will come into the second stage. We've got Baxter, Experimental Scientist. Foot Disciples get flying. Oh, great. And we've got Savante Romero, Temporal Rogue. Whenever 1 or more ninjas the bosses control deal combat damage to the heroes, the bosses play a card. So they'll get an extra card play after their attack. So these will come in at the end of our turn, or the beginning of the end step. April will trigger. I did cast Leonardo, Leader in blue. So Splinter will get to draw a card and will draw a Plains. Nothing really left to do, so we'll pass it on to the boss's turn. The bosses will draw 2 event cards, starting with Foot Enforcer. So it can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. And it's a 6/3. Ugh. And we've got Savante Romero's Curse. Each hero returns X creatures they control to their owner's hands, where X is the number of bosses. Okay. So I'm thinking, oh, we should have made a ninja. So I'm thinking I return that ninja that I didn't make to my hand, and it disappears. And we will also return Dark Leo and Shredder to Splinter's hand. For Bebop and Rocksteady, we're going to shoot, what are we gonna do? That dude's gonna fly over and I think we're going to bring back the South Wind Avatar, and I'm going to bring back the ninja as well here. So now the bosses get to attack. So the Foot Disciple was already in play. It will attack us. It's got flying. I can't block it. So we'll be taking 3 damage. And now the bosses get to play another event card thanks to that. Another Foot Disciple. Great. Because it's going to fly now. That's it for the boss's turn. So we're going to untap. We've got nothing to do on our upkeep. And then we're going to draw. Splinter will be drawing into Shredder's Armor. And Bebop and Rocksteady will draw into Insectoid Exterminator. So we'll start with Bebop and Rocksteady first this time. They're going to play a swamp. We're going to tap one swamp to sacrifice our mutagen token and put a +1 counter on Bebop and Rocksteady. And we're going to pay, or wait, is that what we want to do? Never mind that. We're not going to do that. We are going to tap a black, and a green to bring in the Insectoid Exterminator. And then we're going to tap 2 swamp and 2 forest. And we're going to bring in Lord Dreg, Insect Invader. So at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black insect creature warrior token with flying. If we pay 3 and a green, we could sack a token and draw a card. The Insectoid Exterminator, I forgot to say, has flying. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Probably won't have that chance because they'll probably sack it as a fodder for Bebop and Rocksteady, or to block a Foot Disciple. So Splinter is going to play a plains. So we have 3 plains, an island, and the Foot headquarters. We're not going to cast anything yet because we're going to go to combat. So we're going to attack with Bebop and Rocksteady. We're going to sacrifice the Foot Chopper. That'll do 7. We're also going to attack with April O'Neil, Hacktivist. And that'll do 3 more, so that'll be 10. Eight. Yes. I think I'll attack with... oh my gosh, there's 2 Foot Disciples. That's okay. That's okay. Yes, we're going to attack with April O'Neil, Hacktivist. And we're going to attack with the 2 ninjas. Yes, that's what we will do. The 2 ninjas. This might not be a good idea, but... Actually, instead of the 2 ninjas, I'll attack with Leonardo, Leader in Blue. So April, Bebop and Rocksteady, and Leonardo, Leader in Blue. So when we attack, I'm going to sacrifice the Foot Chopper. Because none of the enemy creatures can block, we're going to sneak in Dark Leo. So we're going to tap Foot Headquarters and a Plains. And we'll be bringing back Leonardo, Leader in Blue, to hand. So let's tap him. So we're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. And on damage, we get to create a ninja. Oh, wait. No, I didn't want to do that. I made a mistake. Let's backtrack. we're going to return April to our hand and keep Leonardo out on the battlefield. Sorry, I had that worked out in my mind earlier, and then for some reason I forgot, but we did that on purpose. We wanted April to come back to our hand with the sneaking in Dark Leo. We want to keep Leonardo, leader in blue, on the battlefield because he's a ninja. Dark Leo and Shredder's a ninja. We've got 2 ninjas. That's 4. When Dark Leo and Shredder do damage, they're going to create a ninja as well. That'll make 5 ninjas, and then the boss will lose half their life rounded up. So, let's count up how much life they lose in combat damage. We do 7, 8, 9, 10. We have also created another ninja. So now we have a total of 5 ninjas. And that's going to make the boss lose half their life rounded up. So half of 10, 5. So that brings the boss down to 5 life. For the second main phase, we will tap a blue and 3 other mana. That's all the lands we've got for Splinter. And we will bring back April O'Neil, Hacktivist. Unfortunately, she won't have the bow attached to her at all. So let's go to our end step. We've got a few triggers right now. Let's start with Splinter's side. April O'Neil is going to trigger. We draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast. I only cast 2 creature spells. It was Dark Leo and Shredder and April, but that's 1 type, so we get to draw a card for Splinter. Drawing the City of Brass. And on Bebop and Rocksteady's side, we've got, at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, scry 1, and it did. We sacrificed Foot Chopper. So we're going to scry, and we've got Madame Null, Power Broker. I think we're going to put this... You know what? We're going to keep this on top. And then we look at Lord Dreg. And at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield, under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black insect warrior creature token with flying. So now we have an insect creature token ready to be sacrificed. Now it's the boss's turn. So the bosses are going to draw their 2 event cards. We've got each hero sacrifices a tapped creature they control. Well, damn. Well, for Splinter's side, we're going to sacrifice Leonardo. And we have no choice but to sacrifice Bebop and Rocksteady. For the second card, we have, oh no, Foot Enforcers. Now they're going to get to attack. So one of the Foot Enforcers was already on the board. So we're 2 of the Foot Disciples. Foot Disciples do have flying. So what we're going to do is... we're going to block one of the Foot Enforcers with a ninja. Then we're going to use an insect warrior and the Insectoid Exterminator to block one of the Foot Disciples so we can kill it. And the other Foot Disciple is going to get 3 damage through. And they're going to get to play another card. And we've got a Foot Skirmisher. More flyers. Alright then. So on our turn, we're going to untap, upkeep, and draw. Nothing to do on our upkeep, but then we're going to draw. We're going to draw into a teleportation circle. And we're going to draw into Madame Null, Power Broker. So on Splinter's side, we're going to play City of Brass. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. We're going to tap a Plains and a Plains, an island, a Plains, and a Plains. So we'll tap these 4 here to cast Teleportation Circle. So at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then we're going to tap the Command Tower and Foot Headquarters. And we're going to cast Shredder's Armor. So equipped creature gets +2/+1, and when this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. So we're going to attach it to one of our ninjas. To equip it, we sacrifice another creature, permanent. We're not going to be doing that though, because it automatically does when it enters. So for Bebop and Rocksteady, we're going to play Swamp. It gives us 8 lands. And we're going to tap 1, 2, 3 forests, and then 1, 2, 3 swamps for 6 mana. And we're going to cast Heralds of the Shredder, or Vigor. It's got Trample. If damage would be dealt to another creature you control, prevent that damage. Put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. And when it is put into a graveyard from anywhere, when this card is, shuffle it into its owner's library. So we're going to be attacking with the ninja with the Shredder's armor on it. Dark Leo and Shredder, which will make another ninja. And April O'Neil, Hacktivist. And that'll do 5 damage in total, getting rid of Baxter and Savante. So in the last stage, we have the Rat King. And ninja bosses have Death Touch. Ninjas have Death Touch. We've got Bebop. Whenever the bosses attack, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature named Foot Disciple. And we have Krang, Dimension X Overlord. They get to play an additional card, but they will lose 2 life at the beginning of their beginning of the boss's turn. So at the beginning of the end step, April O'Neil is going to trigger, and we will draw 2 cards, 1 for an artifact card type, 1 for an enchantment card type. Splinter will draw into a Plains and a Rokusaki. The teleportation circle will also go off. So we will exile the Bespoke Bow, and we will return it to the battlefield. And when it enters the battlefield, return up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So we will be returning one of the foot enforcers. Is that what we want to do? No, you know what? We will be returning the foot disciple to owner's hand, which will put it into the boss's grave. So it's the boss's turn. They will lose 2 life. The bosses will be drawing 3 cards. So first card is, as a team, the heroes choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Destroy it. Nuts. So that'll be Heralds of the Shredder. That the bosses lose life equal to that creature's power. So they'll be losing 6. And we'll be shuffling. Because when Heralds of the Shredder is put into the grave from anywhere, it gets shuffled back into the library. So it gets destroyed. They lose 6 life. And we shuffle it back into our library. The second card is, as a team, the heroes choose 3 creatures they control. Destroy each other creature the heroes control. Well, that sucks. We're going to keep Lord Dragon Sect Invader. And we're going to keep April O'Neil and Dark Leo and Shredder. Okay. And for our last one, we have, as a team, the heroes choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Destroy it. Well, that's going to be Lord Dreg, Insect Invader. Now it's the boss's attack. They get to attack with the Foot Enforcers and the Foot Skirmisher. That'll do 14 damage. And I'm dead. Well, thanks for watching my defeat. I guess I'll have to try another one on here where I actually win, because I swear I've beaten this before multiple times, but it's always been close. But I feel like I guess that was kind of close. We got the boss down to 12. That's all right. So, well, better luck next time. Thanks for watching.